isn't a single body of water here. I guess that means salamander grottos are out. Although neon reefs aren't necessarily. But either one of those is unlikely on a highway. This isn't going to be a very long trip. I find that since the mid-zone is flatter, there aren't any tunnels in it. I suppose I shouldn't rule out thermostat crystals. This one for the road. I'm keeping my eyes peeled for cars, trucks, anything really. Wondering about the low level of radiation that there currently is. It shouldn't harm my car, but it will do damage to me. Especially since I never scratched up enough Olympian for that last augmentation of my suit. There's just a couple of bollards, never mind. This highway's deserted. No one's ever driven on here, have they? Just go a little bit past it. There we go. And there goes another crowbar. I never have to make those on the fly. I keep finding them. Yep, there it is. I got no room for it right now. So here. Here we go, get another pneumatic tube. Maybe I just don't feel right passing by a pneumatic tube unless there's some very compelling reason to do so, which has been the case a couple of times. The Mailman #1. The long-awaited first episode. Spent very much time in this zone. Maybe when I get to the gates, I'll give that a look through. cars. There's some fuel. I'll take it. A dumpster pearl. I'll take that for the sake of taking it to it. I honestly don't know whether I'll be able to crack it, but as I live and breathe. There was Olympium in there. Hilarious. I guess I could try and whip up a another panel in my car and replace it on the fly. I can't do that. In fact, I think I did once. There's a storm drifting by, but I shouldn't be anywhere near it. Maybe close-ish, but not too close. So, let's see what that file says. The Mailman, Part 1. There is evidence for continued network degradation and/or interference. Of 607 packages received this week, 7 arrived late in a fashion that cannot be explained. 4 packages were sent exactly 1 year earlier. However, these packages had been already received, meaning these were duplicates of some kind. 3 packages were mistakenly dated. They were stamped with a date exactly 1 year in the future and contained messages irrelevant to their recipients or current events. I can only conclude that these were pranks of some sort and will append these to my report about misuse of our sensitive and most vital infrastructure. You know, all throughout this mailman story, there's been a sense that time travel is somehow a thing here. If I go to the well, will I go back in time? There's another zone receiver, it's right on the way, and we have extreme conditions. Fuel evaporation. So I suppose to save on fuel, what I ought to do is follow the road far enough and pick up this one anchor plug that's like right there. Far away is this? You know, it's funny. I think the furthest distance I traveled was almost 500 meters, and that was to pick up a dumpster pearl that was perfectly round. Just how much of the zone I can cover on foot, though. Is it feasible to go this far? Holding this much radiation. I guess the answer is yes. I just found... oh boy, yeah, a lot of rotten eggs, too. Operation Skedaddle. That's better. Alright, let me eat my way back to health. Should get me to exactly 100. Yeah, there we go. And that's enough anchors. Running afoul of the abductor. Dodge radiation clouds. I will. Dark out. We've still got a pretty hefty distance to go. I'm going to go right by that thing, assuming it goes right by me. That's better. There's a bolt bunny. Well, there are worse bunnies. Spend too much time in here, especially not driving. rest of these cars I encounter aren't stingy with their fuel. I might not encounter any more. Okay, I'm staying away from the abductor. Chalk it up to bitter experience again. This is about as close as I can get to the zone receiver. Before we go after it, though, got the handbrake on. I have no idea whether the abductor can overpower that. Ah, here we go. Yeah, that looks like his own receiver. Sorts for the hardworking government employees and their families that lived in Sierra Town. The flyers and brochures I've gotten my hands on promised all manner of things, mundane and fantastical. Kiss your low-tech washing machine goodbye. Take home this limb nebulizer and zap your clothes and diapers clean. Why break your back trimming your lawn when LimTech can transform your grass into something more? This push to get LimTech into the homes of zone residents, housewives in particular, was a deliberate and strategic move. The cynical reason, and most popular interpretation, is that it was a PR push to rehabilitate LimTech's image. By 1973, there'd been enough reports of radioactive fallout and inexplicable disappearances that suspicion of what Arda was doing was high. Where were you when the Sierra incident happened?
At base camp about 20 miles out of town. The sirens went off during dinner, and we barely had time to wonder whether it was a drill or real before the shockwave rolled through. Luckily, we'd been through the disaster procedure days before. We dove under our tables to take cover. We were just kids, at first thrilled for the drama unfolding in real time. It was hours before Arda came to extract us. By that time, we'd scrambled up onto a hill to signal for help and saw the...
Take your time.
It's been 20 years and I still can't go anywhere near a county fair of any sort.
What did they tell you had happened?
Nothing. They were all business. Hurrying us onto the trucks with boarded up windows. We weren't even allowed back in our cabins to pack our belongings. They breezed us out of the zone. It wasn't until days later when most of us were deposited in an orphanage that... well, we learned that our parents died.
I may not have much time here, but Squire and its fuel tank are a bit too good to pass up. Especially the fuel tank, with the fuel evaporation going on. And I can top myself right up off. And since I'm so near the gate, I might as well say adieu to this zone. Supposedly Tobias and Francis lived here, but I never got the chance to meet them. I'm surprised they didn't tell me where they lived. This was between these locations. Still. And then there's this. No idea what it is, but I don't want to spend much time in here.